Already a local sensation, gave a concert at Manning Bowl. Chaos broke out and the police used tear gas to control the crowd. Urban renewal changed the look of the city in the mid-60s, and the Vietnam War affected Lynn families as every war has. Even though there were many changes happening on the political and cultural front in the country, families like that of the Zematises of 15 River Street Place went about the business of raising their families as shown in these home movies. Fun family snowball fights in the winter, in the spring came the prom, as always, and the summertime was saved for cookouts. Historically, Lynn had a larger population of blacks than other North Shore towns. Here we see members of the Brown family and their friends at a late 1960s party on McKinley Terrace. And here, children dressed for Halloween at 216 Chatham Street. And the family in Charlotte Brown's kitchen. Members of the Flamer family were among those celebrating the 4th of July at the Meadows by the Old Project. Both children and adults participated in the annual races there. Civil rights activism was strong in Lynn, and its beginnings date probably to the war years. George C. Wallace, a presidential candidate, held a rally at Briarcliff Lodge in July 1968. Outside the lodge, Abner Darby, president of the local NAACP chapter, organized a peaceful demonstration which drew 200 people. The NAACP continued to work to change segregation practices in Lynn, where some factories and stores refused to hire blacks. The 1970s saw continued protests, such as this one at General Electric, and attempts like the Union Street Mall to revive businesses downtown which had migrated to the malls. By this time, only a few hundred people still worked in Lynn's shoe industry. In this 1976 aerial view of Summer and Commercial Streets, Lynn, like the rest of the country, although fallen on hard times, prepared to celebrate the nation's bicentennial. Even our houses of worship had to respond to changing attitudes. Despite the struggles, the value of education and religion was still strong in the community. But even here, changes like those in lifestyles and dress could be seen. Traditional ceremonies, like this confirmation with Cardinal Medeiros, still took place at St. Pius Church. Although business downtown was struggling, areas like Wyoma Square and Boston Street were developing into commercial districts. One event which remains in people's minds was the February blizzard of '78, which dumped 27 inches of snow and closed the city for days. By the 1980s, pollution control programs had helped make the ocean once more suitable for swimming. In the early 80s, Warner Amex Cable came to Lynn, and video brought a new medium into our homes. The most memorable event of the 1980s happened on November 28, 1981. Fire broke out in the 8-story brick building at 264 to 66 Broad Street, the longtime home of the Oxford Shoe Company. The city had been in the process of tearing the old building down as part of a plan to rehabilitate the area, and the sprinkler system had been shut off. At 2:35 on the morning of November 28th, 2 policemen noticed flames in the building, which was already unstable because its rear wall had been demolished. 22 minutes later, Lynn firefighters officially declared the fire to be out of control and spreading. Firefighters from 80 companies all over the region were called in to assist. 700 fought the fire in all. By the time the fire was under control, more than 15 hours later, 18 industrial buildings had been completely destroyed, and 8 others were heavily or seriously damaged. Lynn's crowded industrial district, an artifact of time when nearly everyone walked to work, had made the fire much harder to contain, according to Joseph Scanlon, chief of the Lynn Fire Department. For weeks, the acres of rubble left on the site smoldered, and among the fallen and snow-covered debris, fires spontaneously erupted until December 14th, when firefighters finally declared the blaze all out. The 1981 fire had burned over part of the same area the 1889 fire had consumed. It caused injury to 8 Lynn and 2 out-of-town firefighters and caused a loss of $80 million. At the request of Governor Edward King, President Ronald Reagan declared Lynn a major disaster area. In 1987, car dealers on the Lynnway accounted for the largest income of all retail groups. And to meet the needs of a growing Asian population, the community purchased a church for its sanctuary.
Older than the General Electric Company itself, the current facility is a dominant fixture of stability and technological achievement in the prestigious 128 high-tech region. Spread out over nearly 270 acres, the Riverworks 60 different buildings house 3.5 million square feet of manufacturing facilities and over 1 million square feet of space used for offices and support functions. With over 11,000 employees, 3 working shifts,